go through the whole thing again. However, if he can take the confidence of what he did in this event, in this first qualifier, and take it to the next one, and you have the comfort of the guy who beat you is not going to be back in the event again.
Exactly,
so.
yeah. He lost in the finals. The guy who he lost to is no longer in the tournament.
Yep.
It's all on him, so.
All right, but we're going to now, like I said, guys, we're going to take this to Max so you can check out this amazing collection that we've been talking about. Max?
All right, guys, we're still here at the Killer Instinct World Cup. How's everybody doing? Tournament's okay? All right. For anybody that's actually in the second chance qualifiers, go to the back right now. Meet up. They're taking place at the moment. So if you guys are in second chance qualifiers, hit it up, and we're going to be getting that on stream very soon. But before that, we have one of the craziest collections you can possibly ever find for a video game. Killer Instinct has an insane amount of memorabilia and some equally insane people that collect it, including myself. We're going to show some of that off, and also stuff that is not exactly from the old KIs, but it's from the new one. The Killer Instinct Series 1 figures are actually here on display. They're not all entirely on sale yet, but Shadow Jago is. If you guys are on my channel frequently, you can find the Shadow Jago figure link down below on my page. And they got a lot more stuff coming, including Fulgor, Hisako Saberwolf, and 9-inch Jago. Why can't it? Can we get a 60-inch one? I'll take life size coming soon. Okay, that's good. That's good. We're actually going to have a showcase for the Ultimate Toy guys who are releasing the Killer Instinct official figures, and more stuff coming soon. More sneak previews coming a little bit later today, I think. So we're going to be back with them. But for now, you might notice a lot of older Killer Instinct memorabilia here, and I have a very important and special person that you guys all need to take a moment to say hi to. K0, come over here, man. What's up, dude?
Hey, how you doing?
All right. So, K0, how long have you been collecting this KI stuff?
Technically since the 90s, but only really started getting serious about 3 or 4 years ago.
Okay, so like you actually started hunting things on eBay. You'd find something, you got to like look it down. I'm with you because I was like around the same thing where you like eventually get a job that can support like actually collecting Killer Instinct stuff, because some of this stuff is ridiculously rare. Like, how long would it take you to hunt down something that is semi-difficult to find? Like, how long would that take?
It depends on, it's like a waiting game, you know what I mean? Sometimes it can take months, sometimes over a year. There's a couple of things that took over 2 years to wait on.
That's okay. That's a long time. And there's good reason. Like, Killer Instinct stuff, when it came out back in the mid-90s, was at the peak of its popularity on the old Nintendo platforms. Now, of course, Rare moved over to Microsoft. There's new memorabilia for the new games, but the old games, it was like a year that they made some stuff, and then it was completely gone, and it didn't exist anymore. I want to take you guys on a brief little journey through some of the most ridiculous stuff that you might not have ever realized existed for KI, starting from the left over here. Now, check this out. This was the original Super Nintendo box art for KI. Now, this is a wall scroll, technically?
It was a promotional banner they could hang from the ceiling, or they had a setup where you can actually hang it from the wall. And it's double-sided, so it's the same on both sides.
I remember seeing these, and they're always ridiculously damaged. Like, kids would jump on them, I swear. And it's like, what have you done to this? And really, really rare on that side. We have a Killer Instinct 2 banner here as well. Old posters. Moving over here to the second table, though, is where things start to get pretty dang interesting. Now, Nintendo Power, way back in the day, had all these promotional items that you can purchase. They had, like, you know, you can buy posters and T-shirts and masks, like a freaking Fulgor mask. How long did it take to locate one that wasn't completely destroyed?
It took 2 years. A good buddy of mine actually found it for me and hooked me up.
So I remember this Fulgor mask. I actually had a friend that wore one in Halloween, and I swear in one Halloween it fell apart because they weren't made very well. Other than that, there was this promotional kit, which I never saw before you actually told me about it. It comes in this box, each with a promotional item for the different versions of KI that would come out back in 1995 for the Game Boy, for the Super Nintendo. How did you come across this thing? Because I didn't even know it existed.
Well, I was cruising online looking to see if I can find any Killer Instinct stuff, and I saw the auction and it only had like 35 minutes left, and I said, oh no! And so I just kind of went for it, got it, and it was actually an EGM editor who had it.
So he was just like digging through all the extra stuff that he had and just started selling it on eBay. That's pretty much your best bet to come across a lot of this stuff. Hey, you guys remember Pogs? Man, remember Pogs? Now they're back in KI form, sorta. I would only ever see these without the actual casing, and for geeks like myself, you'll notice that Orchid is the original black Orchid that doesn't have the redesign of the original green color. Pretty awesome because you realize this came out before the game did. Also, when Jago wasn't actually a blue ninja and he was dressed in black. Yeah, there's a little notice things we're picking up on. Interesting story. You'll notice in the back, and that's an amazing condition, by the way. There's a Fulgore standee. That is another. There's another one that's a bit bigger, you could say. That's about 7 feet tall. And interestingly enough, I randomly look for Killer Instinct memorabilia every once in a while and try to hunt stuff down. And K0 would help me out with certain items, and he would shoot them over to me, and we're like trying to find stuff, and I haven't gotten that, so he would let me know about it. Mystically, one day, I came across one of these guys, the giant 7-footers who you all dudes might remember from my channel is always in the background. I'm so sorry I showed this thing off. I was in a bid war, actually a snipe war on eBay with this dude, and I sniped it in the very end to only find out I just outbid my friend that was helping me. I'm like, oh my God, I feel so bad. And we're still trying to track one down, but the nice part about it is that it's got a home on the stream in the background at all times, but it's a monster. I swear it was not designed to be standing for more than a month. It just falls over. Other than that, there's a really cool memorabilia item that you would never find almost anywhere unless you were really keeping track with Killer Instinct Season 1. This is actually a signed banner of KI Season 1. Some of you guys might have seen it on my stream. I have like a really big one from the Double Helix dudes that originally made the first season of KI. Really awesome crew. And then the legacy is carried over to Iron Galaxy, and it's now all the way in Season 3. It's insane how many people have passed on like Killer Instinct throughout all the years. Which one do you think you've put the most time into now?
Definitely the new Killer Instinct.
Yeah, I find myself going back and playing the old ones on Xbox Live now that they actually have online. Moving on a bit, we have more of the console side of things on Table 3 over here. I can't believe this stuff is still going. It's insane, guys. There's some pretty cool stuff over here from the opening of Killer Instinct Season 1, which I believe Dan Fornes, who later went on to make the game Rivals of Aether, designed a card game around the opener to ender system for this. Where did you pick these up from?
Actually, I had a buddy pick them up from Evo and then mail them to me.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, they were at EVO 2013, and they were handing them out. I think that might have been one of the only opportunities you can find them. There was, yes, actually, Killer Instinct Topps booster packs. It's a card game. It's not like collectible cards. It's actually a game. Okay. The big one that I wanted to highlight is in the very back. There's a Super Nintendo that came out for KI. Now this thing is in the greatest condition I think a console from the mid '90s can possibly be in. So how did you come across this? Was this another eBay find?
Yep, it's pretty much all of this is eBay. Not all of it, but yeah, I found that, and I didn't realize what condition it was in until it arrived at my house.
Wow, yeah, that's actually amazing how good of condition that is. And then my small contribution to this incredible legacy and collection are these couple of things over here. I have an unopened copy of KI for Game Boy. N64 is opened, and unopened copy of KI for SNES. It's a very small contribution considering the insane stuff that's actually here. And then the final table is clothing, and you'd be shocked to realize how much clothing they've made for Killer Instinct over the years, including a holy mother buttload of Fulgore shirts and the Spinal shirt that I'm actually wearing right now. Interestingly enough, one's up here that is the Fulgore 86 clothing shirt. If you guys want to go for the official Killer Instinct clothing line, they have one for Glacius, Thunder, and Fulgore, I believe now. If they were to make the next character, who would you want it to be?
Aganos.
You want an Aganos shirt over? Oh, wow. Over anybody else? Okay. All right. I'll be down with that. So there's a couple of interesting items here. I think the hoodie came from the old Nintendo pamphlet. And you had to, if you were one of the few that were able to get a hold of one, you actually got a hold of one. The Fulgore shirt, I don't have an original. I have a reprint that some dude made on a website, and I'm like, I'll just wear this. That's fine. But the other big ones are this over right down here. I'm actually going to highlight this one, which is a sleeveless leather vest. K0, why did they make a sleeveless leather KI vest?
Because you just look good in it. Why else?
I'm going to assume, yeah, male strippers. There had to have been an influx of Killer Instinct male strippers. I like it. I'm going to wear that every once in a while. This one over here is the only other contribution I have, and I have no idea how I managed to get a Killer Instinct leather jacket. You guys might have seen this in some tournaments that I've joined and been to over the past couple of years. This is a KI leather jacket, which is one of the holy grails of video game memorabilia, and I'm more than lucky because you have a lot of crazy stories of how you've come across stuff, and I have a really crazy one where Robin Beanland contacted me a few years ago, who did the original music for KI, and wanted to contribute to me this jacket because it was like continuing the legacy of people that love KI, and I'm like, I never stopped, and it was Robin's first big game that he did music for. And such an incredibly nice dude. I took him out to dinner at E3, and such a nice guy. I can only wish him the best moving on to all the big stuff the X-Rare employees are working on right now. And that does about it for a whole mother load of Killer Instinct shirts, T-shirts, vests, and jackets. And then finally, there's a pretty interesting table over here, which is publications. Now, I'm going to be honest here. I think I might have read this book more than any book in my whole life. The Killer Instinct Player's Guide was one of the most valuable things in the world as a KI player. How much did you resort to reading this book for tips and stuff like that?
I spent years reading it and studying it. It was amazing.
Did you ever use the one for KI2?
No, I did not. I didn't play KI2 very much.
So yeah, KI2 Gold. There was one on N64. I think I might have that guide as well. I'm not too sure. I'll let you take a look at it to try to hunt one down if you need to. One of the funniest one is that there was a Killer Instinct comic series at the top, and if anybody has read these, you'll remember that there's an original story thing that actually got carried over to the new Killer Instinct, that Thunder's brother is Fulgore. So that Eagle, who's Thunder's brother, is indeed Fulgore that's been transformed by Ultratech. And that's actually canon now. And that was something that just popped up in one of these books. And I remember looking up like, who came up with this? And like fan fiction type stuff ended up being completely real. It's kind of hilarious. Other than that, which ones do you think are the ones you like the most out of all the publications? There's a lot of covers. Like this one's awesome.
Probably the Game Fan one. I love the color for Riptor and Orchid.
I haven't seen that artwork either. Wow.
Yeah, and then the unauthorized edition, just because I don't know, there's like flames.
Wait a minute. Oh, so this is for Killer Instinct 1, right? Yeah. So that is a unauthorized, as in completely third-party guide for the original KI, and I think this one is another completely third-party guide from Brady Games from way back in the day. This is back when Nintendo made these official players guides. Let's just stick this right here next to the other one. And, man, there was Nintendo Players Guides for everything on SNES back in the day. And we'll all remember one of the greatest marketing plans for the original KI on Super Nintendo as well, the Meat page, who had the wonderful luxury of coming across the Ground Meat page. I don't know, man. There's a lot of very interesting marketing for games back in the day. Should we go back to that?
Yeah.
Let's just do it. Let's return to classic shock marketing in video game magazines. And I think that just about does it for the collection. If we get an entire view of all this stuff, you'll see how much there is. And pretty much, I'm going to say 99.9 contributions of this collection is actually coming from K0. And as a guy that has been following KI his entire life, to another dude that I found has been covering it even more, it's pretty amazing. So, Zero, thank you so much, man. Seriously, thank you for coming out, bringing all this stuff to the KI World Cup. And I just can't believe it's all here. We'll be back a little bit later with the Killer Instinct Series 1 Wave 1 toy figures and maybe a little bit of a preview of some stuff to come up a little bit later. But for now, I think we're going to move into some more second chance qualifier matches. There's a lot of stuff around me. It's very tempted to take it all and run. I'm holding off, but we're going to be back with more Killer Instinct as soon as possible. Don't go anywhere, guys.
Killer Instinct has long and damaging combos, but they are two-way interactions. After your opponent starts a combo with certain attacks, such as a special move, you can combo break by pressing the punch and kick buttons that match the strength of your opponent's attack. There are three possible strengths: light, medium, or heavy. As a general rule, heavy attacks are very damaging but slow and can be broken on reaction, while light attacks do less damage but are oftentimes too fast to react. To combo break shadow moves, break any 3 hits with the correct timing. Trying to break is a risk, and if you have bad timing or press the wrong strength, you'll get locked out and can't try to break again for 3 seconds. The X over your head tells you the strength of the attack you missed, or will be white if you mistimed it. If you lock out, you'll take a lot more damage, as your opponent starts to use risk-free heavy and shadow attacks.